Where is he? There he is.
I'm tired.
So you're tired?
I'm good now. I don't know. The cold.
You got a cold?
No, I mean the.
Oh, okay.
Just all of a sudden just.
Been busy this week. We shot a GH5, GH5S video.
Yeah, which was good.
Right, I know exactly what you're thinking. Not another bloody GH5S video, but I promise you, this will be the last GH5S video I ever do. Promise you. Scouts honour. Not that I went to Scouts. I spent most of my childhood bettering myself by playing video games instead of learning rudimentary arsonist skills and patronising grannies. I think I've seen enough of this. I've pretty much milked it dry. Last time I looked at the pre-release GH5S. This time it's the final product, but still I won't be buying one. But this really isn't about me. It's about what you might want to buy, especially as the GH5. GH5S is an incredibly popular camera for YouTubers. So it's going to kind of be a serious video about which camera should you buy. So expect lots of video of me looking kind of serious. Yep, it's a serious video, and that's my serious face. Or is that my shit did I forget to lock the front door face? Sorry, silly video coming up after this video. Anyway, I like the GH5S video. It looks great. Subjectively speaking, these are the best looking files this side of a cine camera. This is a cine camera, and it's here, right here. And I hate to use the C word here, but once graded, those files look properly cinematic. The sensor is good, I'll give it that. I wasn't going to say the word that's rude. Nah, there's nothing worse than spending loads of time trying to make log files look good. With a Panny, it doesn't take much to get it straight out of the camera to looking fantastic with minimal work. It's a 14-bit sensor, and of course the output is not 14-bit, but I feel that there's a subtle richness to these files. The colours look fantastic. Mwah. The skin colour is fantastic. To be able to get footage like this from a camera that looks like something a granddad or hipster might use, and at a reasonable price of $2,500 or £2,000. But let's not take anything away from the GH5. It's not like it really pops out and slaps you in the face and says, "Oi, take a look at this GH5, the GH5S is amazing." Although, due to the lens I used, these GH5 shots have deeper depth of field, meaning they're less pro-like. They look tip-top too. The point is, if you're swaying towards the GH5, don't tell yourself that you're getting a camera with considerably worse image quality, because you're not. Since the GH5S was announced, there was a lot of hyperbole being chucked about. Global shutter light, dynamic range greatly improved. For me, it doesn't really matter about scientific tests. As long as the camera works well in real life situations, that's all that matters. By the way, a hyperbole isn't a really big sized bowl or something. Just to debunk some junk, the dynamic range isn't hugely different. But the good thing is that there is a bit more room for exposure tweakage in post. With the GH5S, you can eke out those details from those underexposed shadows and still get a more acceptable image compared to what you'd get with the Nun S. What did you think of it? I mean, that's the first time you checked out the files.
I think it looks really good. Actually, I'm really impressed. That's why I think, especially in the shadow part, I think it looks a lot cleaner than the normal GH5 footage, especially in low light.
Yeah. The files are cleaner with an S. Nun's internet browsing history kind of clean up until ISO 12800. With the GH5, I'd still use it up to ISO 3200. But the GH5S defies common perception about what is possible with a smaller sensor, and that's what is amazing about the GH5S. Add to that the fact that you can get small fast primes, and with a speed booster, it kind of makes the bigger sensor argument kind of weaker. Full frame for sure will still have an advantage, but for micro four thirds users, at least you needn't be afraid of the dark now. In terms of rolling shutter, it wasn't a huge issue with the GH5 anyway, and of course it's not with the S either, although there hasn't been a huge improvement in this area, no matter how much vomit-inducing footage you try to make. Sorry to be that guy, but it's not global shutter light though, if you're really looking for it. By the way, if you're wondering what's going on here, nothing bad happened. Nobody got hurt, nobody got injured, just a minor gas leak apparently. So if anything, people sniffed in a little bit of gas. Nothing potentially worse than a bathroom the morning after a night of heavy drinking and curry eating, right? Are you going to upgrade?
Nope, not gonna upgrade. I need IS. That's why the IS is what keeps the shot usable right now.
Exactly.
If it's GH5S, you're just gonna
It'd be wobbly.
like that.
FYI, it won't actually make that noise, and you can get some decent handheld shots with lens IS, but for vlogging, well, there aren't many super wide lenses with IS. IBIS, in-body image stabilization, is still something I find incredibly useful for making my YouTube videos, but for proper productions, not having IBIS is actually a plus. And not to be confused with IBS. That's definitely not a good thing because you'll be running to the toilet all the time. When you're filming in good light, well, actually it's cloudy, but it's the UK, at least it's not friggin' raining, the GH5 and S are very hard to tell apart, cut together quite nicely, despite some people saying that colour science has been improved. Still, if I'm forced to choose one, then I'd say the GH5S files look a bit nicer, have a bit more depth to them. It's all about that image. It looks so good. I almost prefer the way it looks compared to the C300 too. Plus, it's got 4K 60p, 240 FPS Full HD. It's a beast, but that doesn't mean you need to buy it. But like with stills, for video, you need to essentially get the camera that works best for you, not the one that works best in a lab or shoots the best test charts. Sometimes, just sometimes, there's more to it than just having the best image out there. It's all about having the right tool for the job. And remember, the GH5 still produces super crispy, gorgeous 4K files. With each camera, there is a unique selling point, rather than one camera being an outright better camera. For me, I've been spoiled with IBIS, and that's really why I'm keeping the GH5. It's more suited to my needs. But if we're talking about getting a second camera, then I'd be incredibly tempted by the GH5S. Whatever.